All right. So yeah, Paige, I'm gonna go share. I'll share in our Facebook group and tag you some of my favorite electrolyte drinks as well. Kim, tell me what your favorite part about the workouts has been so far, besides being sore. And anything, I think Cami, what's been your favorite part of yeah, I see you. I see you on here. What's been your favorite part of the challenge so far? Or any
Um, oh, can I just share? Can I share in real life? Okay. I think for me, I mean, I'm a part of the collect of your Fit Life tribe, but I think for me, it's just been the awareness, right? Since I started the challenge like a month ago, like my water intake has been good, but like my protein is not good. So I think just awareness of like, oh, I do need to up those. My sleep is good, but all of the other things. So just awareness, I think overall,
I
I've
love
loved.
that. Cool. I love that. And I think awareness is step number one, right? So I love it. Well, thank you guys. Let's go ahead and get this party started. So today we're talking all about, oh, wait, hold on. Kim said they seem simple and I love that, but I feel like I'm getting a good workout. Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that, Kim, because there is a madness or a reason to the madness. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but one thing that I believe in is I've shared a little bit of my story. I thought that in order to see changes physically, I had to work out like 2 hours a day. And that was madness, right? Like nobody has time for that. And so I realized that if I can make your guys' workouts shorter, 30, like 45 minutes or less, you actually feel like you can fit them in. And when you know that you can fit them into your schedule, you're going to have better results because it's something that you can actually be consistent with. So I realized, with me and even with my clients, everybody I work with yeah, they're busy mamas. We all have so much on our plates that, I remember there was one of my clients, this was when I first went online, and she was struggling to get her workouts in. And I was like, hey, 10 minutes is better than no minutes, And so that was almost an epiphany for her. And that's also what kind of helped me transition some of the workouts, right? There are some individuals that do have longer workouts that we program, but ultimately short, sweet is more effective. And I realize, like for my personal journey, that right now I'm doing like 20 to 30-minute workouts. And that's because I do have so much on my plate that I'm just trying to preserve the muscle mass that I have. And it's working because I am in a very busy season of my life. So just know that if you take a week off, once this becomes a part of your routine, if you take time off, your results are not, it's not like your muscles just going to fizzle away. Because that used to be a belief of mine as well. I was like, I have to work out to maintain this, but it's not the case. Um, your body is very, very forgiving. So let's dive in. What are some of the biggest mistakes women make in the gym? And I've made them all, so I'm here to tell you that um, you can overcome any of these mistakes, right? So for me, I used to walk in the gym and go straight to, and I actually, it wasn't well, it was either a treadmill or it was a Stairmaster. Like that was my thing. I always went straight to the cardio. I was intimidated by the weights. And I was like, I didn't always know what to do. So if I went and got on a treadmill or an elliptical or a bike, something along those lines, I would it was comfortable. I didn't have to think. I could just get on it and go. And there's nothing wrong with cardio. I think it's absolutely amazing. Um, but there comes a place where cardio, it's in the long run, it ends up, if you're just doing cardio and not any sort of resistance training, it ends up doing more harm than good, because it does increase your appetite. And a lot of women, I think this is more of a mindset thing, because this is what I've heard from other women is, I do marathons so that I can eat whatever I want. And you tend to eat more carbs Because you think like I need carbs to sustain my body so I can get through these long sessions, long bouts of cardio, which in the long run ends up doing more harm than good, especially hormonally. And I've learned more about that more recently. So when it comes to cardio, I think it's great. I would really focus on getting your steps in, creating a realistic step goal, and then adding in a little bit of cardio here and there, but that should not be the staple of your training regimen. Um, HIIT training. So HIIT training is amazing if your body is at a good place to receive HIIT training. And I think for me personally, and many of the women I've worked with, they didn't want to, or they felt like they had to be just dripping sweat in order for the workout to for them to feel like they got something from the workout, right? I know that was me. I was like, oh, it wasn't a good workout unless I'm sore and dripping sweat. Well, now I'm in the best shape of my life, and I'll do a few minutes of HIIT training, but it is not the staple of my programming. I think, or not, I don't think, I know that most of us women, actually, I can say all women that I encounter and work with already live in a very high stress state. They're always on the run. Their cortisol levels are through the roof, and they're always in that fight or flight state. And with that being said, HIIT training is just increasing that cortisol level and making it so that your body can never, and I kind of talked about this yesterday, your body can never get into a state where it is able to rest and recover, because we're always super high. So when we're doing HIIT training, there's a high release of cortisol in the body, right? And high cortisol releases glucose. So when we have that high release of cortisol and glucose in our blood sugar, we become insulin resistant over time. So again, our bodies will never quite tap into our fat storage. So we're always burning sugars, we're always burning carbs, which means we are going to keep holding on to fat. And so this is where you see a lot of times a lot more weight coming around the midsection and in your face. Because that's that high levels of cortisol. Your body's always in that high fight or flight state. So a lot of times when women come to me, I pull back their cardio, I pull back their HIIT training. We focus on a little bit of full body resistance training, and walking. Sometimes less is more when it comes to your your health and fitness journey. And one thing that's very important to note here is that when our bodies are chronically stressed, it downregulates the thyroid and the immune system. So a lot of times, our lifestyle is what leads to our thyroid. Those of us who a lot of women are diagnosed with hypothyroidism, and it really comes down to the lifestyle that we're living, that we are burned out, we're stressed to the max, we're running around like crazy people, trying to fit all of this stuff on our plate and never doing anything to truly take care of ourselves. So this may look like slowing down, meditating a little bit, going for those gratitude walks that I talked about on Monday. Feels like a blur. Like I can't believe it's only Wednesday already. There's so much amazing information that I just like want to get you guys, but I also want to make it easily digestible so that you don't feel super overwhelmed. Any questions on that, you guys? Oh, cardio. I'm trying to find my come back. Okay, chat. So yeah, drop any questions if you have them in the chat. So that's over way too much cardio. So the biggest mistakes women make in the gym, just strictly doing cardio or doing too much HIIT training as well. And a little bit is great. Honestly, HIIT training helps stimulate your growth hormone, and that has a ton of positive effects in your body. However, if we're in such a stress state, we can't reap the benefits of HIIT training. So I will incorporate HIIT training into training protocols, but not until later on when they are actually at a place where we've regulated their stress, their, the Fit Life Wellness Foundations that we talk about. Those are the things we want to have in place before we start adding in some HIIT, and make sure that we're able to be at a place with our metabolism, like our metabolism's reset, our hormones are starting to be more in alignment. Then I would start adding in some HIIT training. So Kim, so is 10,000 steps a day important? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say yes and no. Ultimately, it depends on you and your lifestyle. A lot of times I like most of my women to get, and it depends on, it depends on how active you are throughout the day. But I would say like start at 5,000, or take a look at how many steps you get. Are you getting 3,000 on an average? If that's the case, then hey, let's try to get 5,000. I can't remember, there was a study that I read, and it was actually 7,000 steps was a good place to be. And I wish I could, you guys, I'm horrible at retaining information. And it was so good. She's talking about like, so let's just say 7,000 steps, but ultimately depends on you and your lifestyle. So I have some clients, they're like, if I hit 5,000 steps, that's my goal. Great. For me personally, my goal is 8 to 10,000 steps. And that's just because I can hit 5 to 6,000 steps just doing stuff around the house throughout the day. So Kim said, I do get 10,000 steps a day, but it doesn't seem to make a difference in my body, but my mind is great. Yeah. Well, maybe if you average 10,000 steps a day, this could be where maybe you want to challenge yourself a little bit and maybe make it 11 or 12,000. And of course, I would say consistency first, and then challenge yourself just a little bit to increase your step intake. But ultimately, this does depend on everybody. And of course, we kind of all have our baseline, right? So Paige, I'm usually doing 8 to 10,000 steps because of workouts, but some days are less for sure. But that doesn't bother me so much. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I know you go to Orange Theory, so they do a lot of running, walking, and so on. So yes, of course, you're going to get a good amount of steps during those workouts. So I think for you, Paige, think about an average, right? Like what's your weekly average that you want to hit? So, or like a bare minimum. For me, my bare minimum is 8,000 steps. So whether I work out or not, I will not go to bed unless I hit 8,000 steps. And that's just because that's one of my non-negotiables. So I set those non-negotiables. I set these standards in my life, and I'm like, I am going to follow through with them. And that's a whole nother topic in itself. But, ultimately it comes down to where you're at, where you want to be. And I would kind of come up with maybe that non-negotiable number for you. I would like to incorporate more walks because I've pulled back on my heavier workouts so I could have more variety and not always be so intense. I think that's insanely important, because as I shared a little bit on Monday about my story. I was like all or nothing. I was HIIT workouts every single day. So I would do an hour of HIIT, an hour walk, and an hour of resistance training. So I was doing 3 hours of working out a day, and I was eating under 1,000 calories. So, I mean, I had a six pack, and I was tiny, but I was so unhealthy. So overdoing it and listening to your body is very, very important. So, just because we do live in such a fast-paced world, we're always in that state of fight or flight. So being able to come back and get into that parasympathetic nervous system, we are going to be able to have more regulation. And, when our bodies come to that place of rest, we're able to heal better. So I love that you said that, you realized you needed to pull back. All right. So this is my favorite thing to do, is lift heavy. There's so many amazing, amazing benefits to lifting heavy. But first, there's so many women, and you guys have been a personal trainer since 2007. So I have heard everything. And I love lifting way more than cardio as well. I guess it wasn't always that way, but it is definitely, there's so many benefits, and I'm going to dive into all of those. But first of all, there are so many women that are afraid to lift heavy. They're like, I have to use these little pink dumbbells. And don't get me wrong, you can get a darn good workout in. If you haven't ever gone to a bar class or a Pilates class, there you're using like 3 pound dumbbells and you're just smoked, right? So there is a place for those. However, lifting heavy weights is not going to make you big and bulky. And I would say that's the number one fear that most women get. But I do want to reassure you that most women, not most, all women, there's not a woman in this world that has enough testosterone in her body to get bulky like a man does. So testosterone does increase your metabolism, and it does help you eat more to help you get that tone look that you're looking for, but you're not going to get big and bulky. Like, I'm sure you've seen women bodybuilders. These women, well, actually, I have a really good example, and I should have got some pictures because this would really help you guys picture it. So I, as you know, years ago, I was in the bodybuilding space and I did bodybuilding competitions. I did the figure. So there's multiple layers, I guess, to or different areas that you can compete in. There's bodybuilding, figure, physique, bikini, right? So bikini is more of like what you would see on a fitness magazine or okay, yep, my brain is drawing a blank. But anyways, you would see on a fitness magazine where they have the nice booty and they have some tone to them. You can see some muscle, but they are not like overly bulky, right? Then there's figure, which was a little bit more muscle definition, shoulder caps, tiny waist, glutes and quads. Like those were the focus. Then you had physique, which what I say was like a mini bodybuilder. You have more striation in the muscle. You're still looking for those big shoulder caps, large glutes, tiny waist, six pack. Now we're getting leaner. And then bodybuilding is like, that is a little bit bigger, bulkier, and to me personally, more manly than I prefer. But I can tell you, those ladies, they may say that they are not on steroids. They are on supplements in order to get that weight, and they have to eat an insane amount of food in order to build that kind of muscle. So that is not going to happen overnight. Okay, I love lifting way more than cardio. I've lifted heavy since my 20s, and it was more tone than anything, not bulk. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I'm glad you said that because if you take a pound of muscle and a pound of fat, and I wish I was gonna buy these. I had them in my Amazon cart, and my husband's like, "Why do you have these in the cart?" Because the visual is so great. Okay, so I'm gonna use this. I have sticky notes. Here's your pound of muscle, or sorry, here's your pound of fat. Here's your pound of muscle. They each weigh a pound. However, muscle is more dense, so it takes up less space on your body, and that is why you look more toned and lean. So the more of this you have, the more lean muscle mass you have, the leaner you're going to look, the more toned you're going to look. And that's what heavy weight training, lifting heavy is going to do. So lifting heavy, oh, you guys, it's so empowering. It helps build your confidence. It helps you realize how strong you are, both physically and mentally. And one thing that I love is like the harder you can push yourself in the gym, the more resilient you are when you challenge or when you're faced by challenges outside of the gym. So that's one thing. Like people who work out that challenge themselves in the gym can face those challenges outside of the gym. The gym becomes a place where you can build yourself and your body, your confidence. It's so empowering. It helps your ability to handle daily stressors, and it will help you become more resilient and become more confident as you grow. So strength training, sorry, now I gotta look at my list. Strength training helps better mood, energy, sleep, and sex. Like these are all great benefits. Decrease in cravings and happier, healthier hormones. Daily tasks will become easier. You burn more calories when you're at rest, so your metabolic rate becomes higher, so you can eat more. And this really comes into play when helping reset your metabolism, right? So if we can eat more food, we have more flexibility, meaning we don't have to be as I guess strict with ourselves. A lot of times women come to me and they're like, I went on a vacation and I gained 10 pounds. That's because they were eating outside of what they are eating differently than they normal would. If your metabolism's up here and you're eating you know, 2,000 calories as your baseline and you go on vacation and you have 2,400 calories, your body's going to bounce back faster versus if you are eating 1,200 calories a day, go on vacation, eat 2,400 calories a day. I mean, that's a huge fluctuation. So overall, the average of your food intake is drastically higher, meaning you're going to gain weight, right? But if we can start off with a higher intake, then it leaves for so much more room for flexibility. All right, your body will physically change. You will look and feel more fit, athletic, and have that tone look that you're looking for. I already talked about this. Your metabolism will benefit. You can eat more food, take more mental breaks from dieting. So many women I talk to on a daily basis are constantly on a diet. But if you are eating closer to your maintenance caloric intake, then you'll realize, you can maintain your physique and be able to have more breaks from dieting. So that would include those vacations I was talking about. And last but not least, your body will respond better when you want to lose fat. So if you have a good amount of muscle on your body, and you're eating 2,000 calories here, when you're ready to go into a calorie deficit, your body's going to respond a lot faster. So lots of amazing benefits to lifting heavy weights. All right, do I have any questions? So again, to kind of recap, the biggest mistakes that women are making in the gym are they only do cardio. They are doing way too much HIIT training. And number 3, they are afraid to lift heavy weights. Do any of these 3 things, like, do they resonate with any of you? Is there anything that you feel like you've stuck to over the time where you're like, this is the way it has to be? So I know, Kim, you mentioned you like the workouts. So right now I would say the workouts you guys are doing are based on kind of like muscle groups, right? So there's different ways that you can, and this is a whole nother class in itself, but there's different ways you can break down your lifting protocol in order to have more, to have more success. There's like push and pull days, there's upper body, lower body. There's so many different ways that you can. I think for me, it's always been the calories, and I definitely underserved myself and have for years. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that, Paige. I definitely, and I know you and I have talked, I would say, yeah, making sure that you're getting enough calories in, making sure you're eating enough protein, getting those meals steadily in throughout the day. And to be completely honest, I've had some clients that have came to me who were unable to lift. Actually, I have a really cool story. I'm going to share this with you guys. So it was 2 years ago, I believe. Yeah, because it wasn't last summer, it was the summer before. So about 1.5 years ago, I had a lady come to me, and she wanted to do my Love Yourself challenge. So that's a 2-week challenge that I did. She won the challenge. And then from that challenge, she won 12 weeks of coaching with me. Well, she was unable to lift heavy. She was unable to lift due to, a physical injury that she had. So she literally could not move. So I said, hey, let's focus on your nutrition and let's focus on your diet. Or sorry, let's focus on your nutrition and walking. So she walked, she would do a few stretches as well, but that was all she did. She hit her step goal and she followed the nutrition program like to a T. And this girl had an amazing transformation. She lost 20 pounds in 12 weeks just from those 2 things. Then, because of that, she was able to get a lot of this inflammation off of her body by the way she was eating and just moving her body. And, same thing, like doing things to help with her mindset. And then she was able to gradually start working out. Now she's hitting PRs in the gym and she loves lifting heavy. She's like absolutely obsessed with it. But that just goes to show how important the nutrition factor is. And if we can get that nutrition piece in, and then of course include some sort of movement. And that's why one of our wellness foundations is just movement, because I believe that you should be doing things that bring you joy. If you love lifting heavy, if you love lifting weights, then of course I'm going to cheer you on all day. long because that is what I love. But the most important thing to me is the fact that you're just moving your body. There are so many women I work out with that tell me they can't get results unless they're under 1,200 calories, which is so crazy. I know. Oh man, it breaks my heart because I've worked with many of them, and it is, oh man, it is a challenge to help these women flip that narrative to know that they need more than 1,200 calories. And then once they get to that point where they are eating more than 1,200 calories, seeing those results is just it's mind blowing. You have been that person, not to lie. I have too. I have been there. I have done that, so I understand that 100%. But I can tell you that there is no woman that should be eating 1,200 calories. Maybe there are times in their life where we get that low, but then we get back up to more of a maintenance. And ultimately too, I would say most women don't need to get down to 1,200 calories unless they are actually doing a bodybuilding competition. And then again, it's very, very temporary. Because we need enough fat in our body to help with our hormones and our brain function too. So if we're not getting enough healthy fats in our diet, we're going to start seeing more mood swings. We're going to start seeing more memory loss. And eating 1,200 calories, there's no way you're getting enough of all the macronutrients and micronutrients that you need to fully function. So, yeah, it's that's something I deal with on a regular basis. So thank you for chiming in. And so last but not least, I didn't have the opportunity to choose our winner before the call because I literally have not been online today. So with that, today we do have a giveaway. And it's gonna, oh my goodness, I forgot to share this. I thought I was at the end. Okay. I was ready to wrap it up. These are just some side by sides that I wanted to share with you. It's so crazy. Like this woman was strictly focused on cardio. And then when she started resistance training, like resistance training does just help you feel out in places that make you feel more confident in your body. So this is her when she was a runner, and then now she's weight training. And I'm not saying everybody wants to look like these women. I just wanted to show you what a cardio body looks like versus one who lifts weights. And of course, like this girl is super lean. I actually know her. She lives here in Utah. This girl's from Utah. This is just an influencer that I've followed for years. But yeah, I think this is important to note just what our bodies look like. And, again, I mentioned how 1 pound of muscle and 1 pound of fat are the exact same weight. They're 1 pound, but the difference is that muscle is more dense, so they're going to look leaner. And I have side-by-side pictures of me at 140 pounds when I was resistance or just running, and 140 pounds resistance training, and I look completely different. So that is the power of what having more muscle on your body can do. Okay, now I'm going to announce the winner. And I put a question mark on here because I was like, well, who's going to be on the call today? All right, so it comes down because Kim's won, Jill's won. So I love you guys. Thank you for being thank you for showing up. I really appreciate that. So it comes down to Paige and Cami. So I'm just gonna, how about this? So Paige and Cami, I'm gonna think of a number between 1 and 25, and I'm gonna write it down, and whoever gets closer gets the so what the giveaway is for this giveaway is I have my Project Zero challenge starting on Monday. So Project Zero is a challenge that I did last year for the very first time. And what it is we support you from November 18th through the holidays. And the goal is to maintain or lose weight. And for those doing the challenge is $97. But at the end of the challenge, if you maintain or lose weight, the goal is not to gain weight, then you get your money back. So you guys, one of you two is going to get into that challenge for free. And then at the end of that challenge, we have an optional 1-day retreat, which is going to be in a beautiful mountainside, either a resort or a house. I'm still locking down the location, but we're going to have a day retreat. It's going to be beautiful. So that is here in Utah. Okay, so Cami, what is your guess? 0 and 25. Oh, hold on, you're muted. Unmute.
12.
All right, 12. Paige, what is your number?
She stole my number.
Oh, no.
So sorry.
I'm gonna go with 16.
Ah, can you see my number? Cami, you won.
Yeah. 12 is my lucky number, y'all. That's you stole it.
Well,
Sorry, Paige.
congratulations, Cami. I'm sorry, Paige, I let her go first because then, you know, but I will reach out to you, Cami. I'll get you all set up for our Project Zero challenge, and I'm so happy to have you join us. Thank you, Paige, also for participating in the fun, and thank you, Kim and Jill, for being on this call and just being here and investing your time in this challenge, because I know it's a free challenge. So a lot of times when things are for free, people just don't tend to they don't show up, right? So I appreciate all of you for being here and for taking the time out of your busy afternoon to be here with me. So you guys have a wonderful. It was totally meant, Cami. It was meant for you. Thank you guys for being with me today, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Talk to you guys later.